Thank you so much for making time for us. We just want to understand right now, what is the drought situation like right now in the country?
Well, yeah, the drought situation is such that it's estimated that about 1.1 million Kenyans need help, and need help today and not tomorrow, because of the adverse weather that has affected the country and the region. There are people who are facing food insecurity, issues of water, issues of health, which is what I think the government has been working on all along. And for us as partners to the government, we are trying to contribute to complement the efforts of the central government and that of the county government in about 17 counties.
And we know that the Kenya Red Cross Society is on the ground to try and mitigate the situation as it is. What are some of the initiatives that you have put in place or the efforts to try and mitigate the drought situation?
So as you know, that last week we asked for Kenyans, but also our international partners and partners within the Red Cross Red movement to help us to address some of these needs. We launched a request to reach about 300,000 of most difficult areas, the most hard-hit areas of this country, 300,000 of the 1.1 million, and our interventions would be in food security, but in particularly through cash transfer. If we are able to transfer 3,000 shillings per month per family or household, then we intend to give food. We are talking to a number of people. There are donors who have asked us that they want to do food, so we are directing them to certain areas, certain counties. Then also we are looking at water in rehabilitating some of the boreholes. We know that due to the drought, some of the boreholes that are using generator and diesel-driven power have been overused, and in that overusing there has been breakdown in these boreholes with the pumps. So we're looking at solarization of some of these pumps, which gives a long-term sustainable way of dealing with the water issue. And also we're looking at health issue and nutrition.
All right, so that's what you're looking at as far as the request that you made recently for funds. Kenyans did come out on social media and all other platforms. You know, they were feeling perhaps this money would not be channeled into the initiatives that perhaps the Kenya Red Cross Society wants to channel them into. Maybe you can make a bit of clarity for Kenyans to understand exactly why you placed that particular request.
Kenyans also are upset about Kenyans for Kenya initiative that was done in 2011-2012, where Kenyans raised about 1 billion Kenya shillings. That 1 billion, 300 million was in kind. It was in services that were provided by the media owners for airtime and all that. It was other services by other service providers. It was logistics of trucks that took food to different places. Then we remained with 700. Of the 700 million, 350 million was used to buy food. The other 350 million is what was used to do a pilot project, and I repeat the word pilot project, in 3 areas of this country, 3 counties. Marsabit County, where we have the project Walda in Moyale sub-county. Then we have the second project, which is a dam that was done in Tiati, in Baringo, Chesimiron. And then the third one was the epicenter of the drought 2011-2012, which was in Kaikor in northern Turkana. Unfortunately, people in social media have taken upon themselves to bash me as a person, bash Kenya Red Cross as a person, as an institution. But for me, K4K was a success that we all should celebrate as a nation. K4K was never meant to address the drought and phenomena of this country, because the monies that were collected, if you look at the amount that I said before, 700 million, 350 million went into food and other services to distribute to the Kenyans, logistics and all that. 350 million did 3 projects in a pilot phases. Go to Walda today in Moyale. We did the water, we did the agriculture, today there is food there. But we had to reinvest through other sources of funding, because when you do the first investment and you give it, these are communities in Turkana, in Baringo, in Moyale and Marsabit. These are communities that are pastoral. You want to change their lives from being pastoralists to farming communities. It's going to take almost a generation to change mindset, behavior, culture, and everything. But Walda, because we have maintained there, we have gotten extra funding to do the work through NEMA. Today, Walda is a success you are showing on your channel last night and this afternoon, that people are having enough. But it's only Walda, it's a little village, a little community. The rest of Marsabit is suffering from the current drought. for that matter. The same thing with Chesimiron, the dam in Tiati. A dam was done, water filled up. Yes, we had to do a phase 2 of irrigation. We never had the funding. We turned that over to the government, county government, then in 2014. The idea was to have the dam, then put up a farm. The dam is there. Today as we talk, animals are drinking water from there. Today as we talk, human beings are getting water from there. If you look at then Turkana, Kaikor, we did 2 projects, water and then agriculture, same as Walda, with shared nets. The water projects in both areas until today. 3 days ago, my staff were there. Water is flowing in both places. Animals are having water. Human beings are having water. The question was the farm. The farm, after 3 seasons, unfortunately, there was no more funding for us to sustain it, but the community should have taken over, and we handed over also this to the government.
I think even the question, even as you talk about the Kenyans for Kenya initiative, one of the key things I think that has come out as you're talking, and which Kenyans have been asking, is wasn't that initiative meant to help sort of like end the drought situation or mitigate it to the extent that it will not reoccur?
No. In those little villages, yes, Leah, but not in the counties. Do we understand how big Turkana is? Do we understand how big and vast Marsabit is? Marsabit is the largest county in this country. In other places, it will be a country by itself. The same with Turkana. What would you do with 350 million shillings? Are you going to end drought in 350 million Kenyan shillings? No. It was meant to be just a pilot project. It's a drop in the ocean. In those villages today, you saw in Walda, community is happy. But what is the population of Walda vis-a-vis Marsabit? If Marsabit is, 500 or 600,000, Walda would be hardly 3,000 or 5,000 people. So have you addressed the problem of the county and of the country? Of course not. And the same thing with Turkana. Turkana Kaikor, border with Ethiopia and South Sudan. What is the population? Hardly, a few thousand people, 5,000, 6,000 people. How do you address the problem of hunger and ending drought in Turkana for that matter? It needs huge investments.
What will be your thoughts about addressing the drought situation in the country? Some of the initiatives, what do we need to do, because this is a recurrent situation?
Ending drought in this country. There's a whole department in the office of the President of the Government of Kenya. This is going to be a long-term investment. It needs a huge investment. In these areas, you need to have the infrastructure, you need to have the resources and the money to put in large-scale dams that will give water to animals, dams will give water to human beings. We need to use new technology of irrigation for farming, and these farms then can be helped to grow grass, to grow pasture, to grow food, to grow anything and everything that we need to in order to alleviate this suffering. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a one-off thing. It's going to be a 10-year, 20-year process, but where there's continuous investment, continuous engagement. Climate change is real. It's here with us. For one to pretend that we'll not have another drought in 1, 2, 3 years down the road would be, a fallacy. These droughts will be here with us for a long time to come, but it's about us to be focused as a country and to be engaged and address this issue in a long-term manner and in a very honest and sincere manner. But we should brace ourselves for many more droughts to come in the years to come as we address this problem. And if we don't address this problem right now, they'll continue to be there.
If you can just comment about the ethical and financial standing of the Kenya Red Cross Society as a model that has actually shown to be a humanitarian organization that's really in the interest of Kenyans even across the globe.
In terms of our businesses, there have been questions that was raised through the social media and other forums. People are questioning, how are we getting to do these businesses? Did we divert money from emergencies and put it here? I want to put the record straight once and for all. Kenya Red Cross run a hotel business, 3 hotels, 2 in Nairobi, 1 in Eldoret. These hotels are on loan. The Nairobi one, we have a loan with the National Bank of Kenya, which is worth $25 million. We borrowed, we are paying both the interest and the principal. If anyone wants to see these records, they can go to our website, but they can also go to NBK and ask NBK management. So Kenya Red Cross is ethical. We do not use public funds for anything to do with our investments. We run an ambulance service, now the largest and the most leading private ambulance company on the continent of Africa. It was our own money that we invested. Finally, yes, and I'm very proud that we have a TV station that looks at the interest of young people, and the content is about youth and issues affecting youth in this country and on the continent. Yes, we invested our own money and had nothing to do with any public funds. Well-managed, well-run, respectable humanitarian organization that does business with conscience, and whatever we get from the business is plowed back into the humanitarian business of the Kenya Red Cross. And today, this is why we're in the position that we are. But I just want to assure my fellow countrymen and countrywomen, you can trust your society. You can trust Kenya Red Cross with a true, friendly partner that will always be there at the hour of need.
Thank you, sir.